Championship main event live from the Saltis Hotel Spa and Casino here in Panama City. It is one more level to go stage. We are down to 36 players. We are in the money well and truly. And I remain Matt Broughton while he has become Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my babies. Last level of the day. 36 players remain. Still several days of poker left to play. Who knows what number we'll get down to today. James said that we would get down to around 30. I said 18. My guess is...
I had 25.
Somewhere, I think Matt Broughton is going to be the closest. Here are 8 of those players who still remain, and they are at our feature table.
Yeah, we've still got the short stacks of Samuel Gagnon and Jose Meran Guzman.
Gagnon's still in?
Yeah, he got down to 6 big blinds, and then he got himself up. He was around 14. He got himself up to 20. He was the one player that I thought was just hanging on for the post-bubble bonanza burst bingo. But he's just
hanging on for I don't know what.
I really hope that someone has told him that we're in the money, because if he is still playing his best bubble game,
he could just 17 big blind his way to the final table.
It can happen. I mean, it can happen.
I've seen Hardigan do it.
Oh my God, he is an absolute master at that. So Matt and Joe with you for the last level of the day. We've got 1 hour 30 to go. Don't forget, we are keeping an eye on you on twitch.tv/PokerStars. If you want to come and chat to us, tag your tweets, PokerStars TV on Twitter. If you want me on Skype, I'm unavailable. If you want to email me, you're going to have to know my personal email, which I'm not giving out. If you want to text me, you're going to need my phone number. If you want to send me a letter, that's going to have to go back to England. And again, I'm not prepared to give that out. So let's just stick to Twitch and Twitter for now. Maybe if we become closer friends, we get to know each other, we have a few drinks, have a few laughs. Maybe we take our tops off. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just cuddle. But whatever happens for now, it's just Twitch and Twitter. Oh, we're going to jump away from the feature table. Is this David Katai? Is he gone from this place? These are live pictures being beamed to you. And he is confirmed as out.
He's negotiating his settlement.
He is so good. Even though it's a set payment, he's going, well, maybe a little bit more for me. I mean, it's 9,780, but for me...
Let's just round it up.
Let's say 12.
I'm good for it.
I can make it totally worth your while. I'm being asked by... Oh, no, I'm not being asked. Oh, sorry, I thought this was a question. In through the window is saying you do a great job of considering you're only the other guy. I prefer the other commentator, if you don't mind. You're going to, remind me how small and insignificant I am. At least get my non-specific title right. Be very interesting to see how Mr. Tito Ortiz develops in this... level. It feels like his game changes level by level. I don't know whether in the breaks he goes and stews or if he goes and chats to Felipe Ramos.
No, wrong one. Keep him here. He has my chips. You can take him if you want. I'll take your chips, all right?
We're having a table balance. This is I'm a sicko, so this is slightly unfortunate. Timofeev is being moved off.
I hope so too.
It's been interesting and difficult for Tito having these 2 big stacks because, of course, still round in the 8th seat is chip leader Igor Yaroshevskyy, who's been hovering around the million mark, sometimes a bit over, sometimes a bit under.
He is hovering right now just above the camera shot.
Yeah, he is. He's just floating high in the sky on those chips. I mean, he can afford, to be honest, to be a couple of minutes late back from the break because he's not going to come back and find that he's all in. So you won't believe it, mate. You had aces, and we put you all in because we thought that's what you would have wanted. And you're out. It was a fantastic level for James Salmon as well.
Oh, here we go.
Had a couple of key hands. He's second in chips, but right now, all eyes on the triangle.
Oppa Gagnon style.
Igor's back. Jose Meran Guzman. Not super stacked himself. Folds with the front. Oh. might have wanted to see what that was, dealer.
Just busting my balls right now. Yeah. Yeah. They go, can you like put something over your shirt because it's like, okay, he's our president and what?
Short. Up our Gagnon style.
That would go down well here, the music.
Yeah, but
You could probably make it fit the one rhythm.
Beat.
There is only one rhythm allowed in Panama. There was a law that was passed in 2006 that all music had to adhere to a very strict rhythm.
I told you I went out with this Brazilian girl. More on that story next week's podcast. But I was like, what do you think of the music here? And she's like, oh, this is Puerto Rican music.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, harsh. Harsh slapdown.
Yeah, my friend Felipe, he gave it to my kid. My kid was cold, and he went to give it back. He goes, no, you can have it as a present.
Ah, cool.
My kid was all happy. He goes, oh.
Your kid's here?
Yeah, my boys are here.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, their birthday was yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, they turned 8 years old, twins.
Congrats.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And twins.
I haven't crossed that bridge yet.
It's my dog's birthday today.
Really?
Yeah, she's 8, if we're talking about kids.
Have a lot of patience. And remember, it's not about you anymore. Once you have a kid, it's about it.
Claro.
Gagnon style in one more time.
The problem about parents is they forget about once they have a kid, they think it's extra work. Of course it's extra work. It's a child. You're going to raise a man or a woman, you're going to raise it the right way. You get one chance. There's no do-overs.
Well, you have 2 chances, it seems like.
I respect that.
Yeah. My dad messed up, and I want to make sure I don't repeat the cycle.
Didn't all our dads mess up, really? I know Matt's dad did.
What?
Walked
He'll be
away.
devastated.
Gave me another opportunity. And I had to make that same decision when I was 39. I had to step away from my ex and take the kids. I got full custody, and that was it. Lucky, man, really lucky. Now I have an opportunity to be a great dad. My girlfriend is amazing. Like, perfect life. You know, everything's perfect.
That's awesome.
Fighting, nothing.
Yeah, whatever.
It's been almost 4 years now, so.
Yeah?
You see, you get past the 4 years, it'll be okay. I think we've only fought twice in 4 years, so.
Really?
Yeah, so it's pretty good.
You're running pretty well.
Yeah. Lucky.
I mean, there's nothing makes you hate a man more than hearing how perfect his life is.
I know.
I mean, I quite liked him before that. He has a dreadful problem with glasses, though. They flip over.
You just can't figure them out.
Yes.
Tito, you're doing it wrong.
I got a drinking problem.
Good at relationships, bad at putting glasses on the right side of his head.
Yeah. And he still has to eat with a fork with a cork over it. Other than that, his life's perfect.
Yeah, look at that. That is almost completely the wrong way around.
No, it's exactly the
Is
wrong.
it exactly?
It's 180 degrees incorrect.
I mean, it's so hard to put him on by accident like that. You wonder how he even did it. Did he fall? Did he lean on them? Were they on his bed?
The worst thing is, he's asked everyone at this table if any of them have seen his glasses. And they'll just go, no.
Or he just goes, are my glasses on right? And they'll go, oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. Yes, Mr. Ortiz. Totally.
I'm teasing. He is a very nice man. In case people are suddenly bursting forth in Twitch going, what's your problem with him? I don't have a problem with him. Mr. Ortiz.
We're just trying to have a little
We're
fun
just-
here, guys.
yeah, just looking around.
That's right, Ru'u myself. On Twitch, he is wearing them so wrong.
Thank you. Confirmation on Twitch of the incorrect glasses wearing. We're off to a flop, boys and girls. 3 humans have decided to participate in the game of cards. You're watching PokerStars TV. Samuel made it 13,000, called in 2 spots. It was an under the gun +1 raise, which may or may not be relevant. Check through. It's all hearts. All hearts.
Eyes down for a full house.
No, no.
It
not
doesn't.
no,
That
it's
doesn't
silly.
work.
No, not.
He who hearts wins, Rodney.
I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Don't know whether to be scared, but Gareth Taylor is on Twitter suggesting that it's going to be a lot easier to come to where I live and stalk me than flying to the USA to stalk Stapes. I would suggest not stalking anyone is my tip, Gareth. But thanks for publishing it. I'll take a screenshot of that in case I need to bring the police in at some later point. Jack is just not good enough. Everyone's so scared of the hearts. Didn't expect the strength. And there I was saying about it was an under-the-gun +1 raise from the short stack. Sure enough, it was a super strong hand.
You just hate it, though. You're short, you got queens, you're like, yes, queen. Yes, queens.
And then it goes, heart, heart, heart. And you're like, oh.
Frickin' hearts.
So that's my problem. I play a lot of cash games, so it's always friendly play. Yeah, I'm at my boy's house, or we go to little small casinos by our house. Where do you live? Huntington Beach, Orange County.
What's your address? What's your PIN? Where's your phone?
So you go to the
Have you finished with that sandwich?
All casinos, yeah. Once in a while, house game.
There's a ton of casinos over
They have Commerce. They have Hawaiian Gardens.
Yeah.
They're pretty decent, man.
Yeah.
A lot of players there.
For sure. Commerce is huge.
Commerce is huge. Not the nicest place. The Hustler's not bad. Even though you wouldn't think it, being named after a porno rag. They just redid the old Hollywood Park in LA also, which is where I learned to play.
Huh.
Tito limping in.
He did a lot of this 2 levels ago, and then I had the feeling that Felipe went out to him in the break and went, just stop doing that completely. Just completely stop doing that.
Can you maybe think about possibly not limping so much?
And, of course, Igor, don't call me Gary Yaroshevskyy. A tiny tickle. Remind you, we're at 3K, 6K with a 1,000 ante. He just makes it 20K. I would say that Tito would do well in life to avoid players like Igor Yaroshevskyy.
Yes. For now.
Of the people at the table, now in this kind of really key point, you're building up your stack now to get down to the proper money stakes. You're going to get through to another key day of play. The final table kind of becomes not that far away, considering we put all the players on one table when you get to 9. You're at 35, so it's kind of worth thinking about it. 25K from Tito.
Look at this.
Oh, boom.
Your advice to stay away from Igor Yaroshevskyy. Come on.
Well, the thing is, it's working out for Tito. We've kind of made various comments about his game, but the overriding message is the guy is flying. He's got more than 50 bigs. The average stack 313. Tito just over that now with 317.
I just noticed that Timofeev is gone, so I guess Tito's got no choice now but to pick on the other really good Eastern European chip leader.
With the monster stack, yeah.
4 to 3 is
to his left. I forgot that.
Yeah, immediately to his left. Yeah. Just to give you a feel for the other big stacks, JC Alvarado at the break was second in chips with 850,000, up $250,000 on the day. Vincent Allberto was third, Canadian with 630. Robin Wozniacek we watched a couple of days ago, 540,000. And then Denis, who's been moved off our table just shy of $500,000.
I've heard Robin Wozniacek prefers to be called Nightwing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit cooler, isn't it, Robin? I mean, he's got a very colorful outfit. Meran Guzman, who has just been sitting quietly nursing. He took over the role. The role of Samuel Gagnon is going to be played by Meran Guzman tonight.
You might want to emphasize the "an" in Meran.
Meran Guzman.
You're hitting Meran a little bit there.
Okay. I'm from Essex, so don't pick on me.
You just don't want to call a guy moron.
Moron Guzman. Meran Guzman.
So it's Tito Ortiz who's going to try to take out the Guzman.
I like it.
Talk to me, Goose.
Jack of spades, Jack of hearts.
Tito's got live cards. Ace high ahead. Looking pretty good for ace high to double up. Or maybe the way the cards are arranged is probably Tito that's got the ace, although he was calling for the jack.
No, I think it was. I think you're right to start with.
I was right, yeah.
So Meran Guzman.
There you go.
Back with us. 12 big blinds. Doesn't do any particular damage to Tito. Worth taking a look. That is the problem for Jose, is that if he lets his stack get too low, it's just no skin off anyone's nose to look him up.
Out or give you some chips so you can play with us.
I have got to warn everyone about something.
I mean, this is a really small room and the door's closed, so if you're going to
exactly
do that,
it.
Really, is it to do with the milk?
Look at the
Yeah,
service.
I had myself a coffee
Right.
before we started here, and it wasn't until I got to the bottom of the coffee that I realized the milk I'd poured in it was quite chunky.
Yeah, I've drunk quite a lot of that.
Yeah, and so
More
there's a
chunky
good chance
than
I
you
got to run out of here.
Yeah, milk. That's the thing with milk. If I describe milk to you, I'm going to say white. I'm going to say liquid.
Right.
And just there, already, two of those key criteria, the milk that we had, it was slightly yellow.
Yellowy.
And it was much more knife-worthy. It's very rare when I'm making coffee, I need and ask for a knife. And I should have seen that. I should have put that together. It's also normally when you turn the jug of milk upside down, you don't have to pat the bottom of it.
Yeah, that's it. Was the flow on the milk jug was slow, and I didn't put it together because I was like, oh, it's just maybe a small opening.
Well, that's the thing, is it's one of those weird ones where you have
Twisty,
to kind of unscrew the top. So I'm just thinking, well, I'm just
I haven't
clearly
unscrewed it enough.
my aperture is not large enough, which is what the doctors have told me, but I've got some tablets. But yeah.
But then, when the milk didn't mix, I didn't really notice that either.
No.
When it just kind of sat on top.
So what we're saying is that the two
It's
of
as
us,
much my fault as someone
complete
else's.
morons, who
We're
just
two Morans.
two Morans who were looking for a white coffee and ended up with a black coffee with some kind of like dairy cheese floating on the top of it. Meanwhile, our friend Jose is all in again. He's going to try and utilize this. Oh, hello, Roman's at it.
Roman's still alive here too?
Yeah, Roman's been doing real. He was really quiet. That last level when Tito was just going Denis and going to Igor, Roman was like, I'm just going to sit here, just going to wait. Man, is that like just a pair of shorts he's wearing?
Oh, we got a classic race here, which one of the viewers suggested me. Can't believe I haven't done this one before. Like lemon versus lime, one of these two hands has a slight mathematical advantage.
Nice.
He suggested that that lime was a domination, which I disagree with. I think it's a pretty good race.
It's a pretty 50-50. I would try Cornish pasties and sausage rolls. You're going to get a lot of
English love there.
English love there. So then, King 6-6. The 10's still ahead for Roman Pavliuk, and Jose Meran Guzman's game at risk. Oh, I knew it was going to be.
You made that very exciting.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying
your
to,
job.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. International Joe of the Year. Sixes full of tens, and that is dreams full of disappointment for our boy Jose. Of course, no one goes home empty-handed.
Anymore.
He's going to get a hearty handshake. He's going to get a free bottle of water, and that's his to take away. Can't take it through customs. But $9,780. We're down to 35 humans. And once again, Roman Pavliuk just sitting, just getting the job done in his enormous branded T-shirt. We thank you very much. Play on PokerStars.
Play on PokerStars.
Our mods are doing a good job, as always, in Twitch. Thank you, mods. We love you. Answering all the various questions. I sometimes still answer them because I think in case there's somebody that doesn't bother to ask a question, wants to know. This is indeed the last level of today. Play a full level out. 1 hour, 11 minutes left on the clock, and then we are done for today. And then we return for tomorrow, which I understand is a Saturday. I could be wrong. Once you land in one of these jobs, it kind of very much becomes about day 3, day 4, penultimate day. Somebody will say, I think my emails are really quiet today. I haven't had anything. Then it's a Sunday, and I'm 5 hours behind. You know, it's like...
Day 4 is not even the penultimate day, though. That's the crazy part about this tournament right now.
Say that again?
Day 4 isn't the penultimate day.
Oh, yeah.
These are 6-day tournaments.
What are we going to do?
I don't know.
Like, have you got any
We're going to encourage people to tank. You know, normally we would get on you for this, but if you guys could just really tank for everyone's decision, that would really help us out.
Yes. Third stop. We started off this year, 2017, launching the PokerStars Championship. We went to the Bahamas. Here we are right now in Monaco for the first time, not Monaco, Panama for the first time ever, excuse me. And then it's yet another new stop on the schedule, Mikhail.
So if I could share one fun story from the Macau trip I took before, it was this thing called the Guangdong Millions, and it was basically a private tournament put on through association with PokerStars by this junket, which is just like this group of people that help get money in and out of Macau for like Chinese billionaires. So
Right.
it's like a concierge service for billionaires. And basically part of the terms and conditions of the tournament was that if you won, you had to go to this dinner afterward.
Right.
And if you didn't go to the dinner, it was considered a great insult to the organizers. And if you it was actually in the terms and conditions, if you didn't go, they could not pay you.
Wow.
The payout. And so we somehow, as the commentators and the production team, got invited to this ridiculous dinner where the opening course was abalone. Now, I don't know if you know what abalone is, but it's basically like a giant clam.
Right.
But it's incredibly expensive, and it was, I mean, no one can see that it was a baseball-sized abalone that they served us, which is crazy expensive. But right before the dinner started, the guy, sort of the liaison between PokerStars and Guangdong, was sweating bullets because the winner had not shown up yet. And they seated us. Also, it's like this hierarchy about where you're seated at the various tables, and we were at like the head table somehow. Wow. And he showed up right at the last second, and like he was like, I don't know what to do if this guy doesn't show up because they're not going to want to pay him.
Yeah.
So luckily he showed up at the last second, and this dinner was incredible. And the dessert station, this was amazing. They had performances during dinner, like basically like a Cirque du Soleil thing happened during dinner.
Right.
But at one point they're like, all right, everyone, now it's time for dessert. And there was this big curtain closing off one section of this giant banquet room. And all of a sudden the curtain raises up, and behind the curtain were like 10 different cooking stations, like kitchens, like IKEA kitchens that have been set up with chefs at all of them making fresh desserts at every station. So there was like fresh beignets and an ice cream bar and any kind of dessert you could possibly think of. People were making them live on the spot, and you like walk over and just tell the chef, oh, I'll have a piece of that key lime pie that's just coming out of the oven right now.
Wow.
Really, really ridiculous times in Macau. Very sad to not be going back there.
Well, that kind of ties into what Mad Dog was just saying. Somebody was asking, Yard Dog, excuse me, he said Macau is like the Isle of Man, but a lot nicer. Would that be a fair?
Yeah, I guess.
Right, okay. Well,
in that it's an island.
Right, well, there you are. So,
and
so
if the word a lot is amplified.
Well, it means a lot. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's good. You nailed it there, Yard Dog. This one has been interesting. It's interesting. From the cutoff, Tito made it 12 grand. James Salmon from the small blind made it 38,000. Roman called. I mean, Roman, I'm guessing it's kings or aces, but I could be wrong. Now he'd go all in. Back to Tito, who's actually got the glasses on, but now that he's done it, I really wish he had just left them on the back of his head. Yeah, still not the ones you wanted, but you did raise. It was just, I mean, at least it was probably just a positional steal that's just gone horribly wrong. At least we get to be involved in a pretty big pot, 94,000, 8 deuce 4. I mean, that doesn't strike me as suiting either the re-raise in the small blind or the call of the re-raise in the big blind. Other than maybe you went fishing with a set, and now it's a fingers crossed scenario. Roman's done that a few times. $37,000 into 94 from James Salmon. Out of position against Roman Pavliuk. I've got a feeling Pavliuk might be going into the I'm not happy about it, but I'll go all in zone. We're going to go to the turn with 158,000 in the pot. Another deuce. Probably quads for Pavliuk, just a guess. What's that funky rhythm that's going on?
It was like a Latin deal.
I'm just waiting for
like dealing of the cards. Like
I'm just waiting for every single song in this place. So James Salmon out of position, having just been called. I don't fancy James Salmon's spot. I got to be honest. There's nothing about this I like. That board is just doesn't feel like it connects with his spot almost ever. Remind you, it was opened up. It was a raise in the cutoff from Tito, who's now out. He made it 12. James re-raised out of the small blind, and I just think, for me, if someone hits the cutoff raised, even if I thought he was stealing it from a positional point of view, how big would my hand have to be for me to want to re-raise in the small blind? And I just don't see that board as being very sexually exciting for him. Just been told Poker Staples has started watching us.
all right, woo! Where is that coming from?
I don't know. But it's probably costing us an absolute fortune.
Anything that keeps this stream from being able to be archived is cool with me.
We need a bit more funk in our output, I think. A bit more of a groove. Still hating everything about James Salmon's spot right now. I mean, obviously, if he turns over the trip 10s or the... I don't know what. I don't know what.
Bop.
Yeah, all right. I appreciate I said sexually exciting, and as soon as I said it, I thought I've no idea why I've added the word sexually to the word exciting. A few people have picked me up on that. I do apologize.
Why? No, it is sexually exciting. Music, it doesn't get in there and grab you by the cockles.
I think it's the music that's made me feel this way.
Yeah.
It is also ridiculous music as well. It's not just music that we don't normally have. It's ridiculous and sexually exciting. 167,000. I just, again, not a pro player, not at this level, but it feels like this is James Salmon just desperately trying to just buy his way out of a poor spot against a pretty tight, pretty non-tricky player. Pavliuk has been patient, solid, hitting the cards and getting the value for them. Uh-oh. Just going to take a little sip of my glasses. Totally fooled me there. Going to go, oh my God, where am I?
Enough? There's never enough. We take what we can.
The glass, I'm not sure what the glasses have achieved. Oh, I so want to see these cards. I think I just heard myself. Whoever's playing the music might also be watching the stream.
I think so.
This has been a fair tank from Roman. Do you know what? Maybe he got the memo about could you try and stall it because we really don't want to come back for one level tomorrow.
We gotta make this last till Monday.
My suggestion was, we normally have like an hour-and-a-half level and then a 20-minute break. Let's switch that.
Flip it.
Have a 20-minute level.
Yeah.
Hour-and-a-half break.
Great.
Better for us, better for the players. Not so good for the audience, but, they've got all the top fives. Ace-deuce diamonds is a shout from White Pony. For who? You think James Salmon is re-raising out the small blind with ace-deuce diamonds? I don't think Roman's calling a re-raise from the small blind, defending the big blind with ace-deuce diamonds, personally. quad tens. Do you know what? I'm going to have to send you a direct message with
I
that.
do not know if that's
That's
in his range.
not going to happen there, darts. Sorry. Nearly 3 minutes on this tank. Don't forget, deuce is no longer wild. They were in the last level. We didn't tell you at home because it just seemed like it would just create problems.
It ruins it if you know that they're wild.
Yeah. So,
Is it deuce on the board also wild? When deuces are wild?
yeah.
Really?
And if you get all four, you get the top progressive jackpot. Again, which we don't tell the players about because again, it just people get greedy.
Uh-oh.
Who called time? Was that Jan? I was interested when we got to the 3 minute mark. I wondered if anyone would call time. Hi, just over here.
That guy definitely wants credit for calling the clock. Yes, it was me.
Yeah.
Now he's just waiting for the floor to show up.
He's just curious to know what this is. What is clock? Oh look, he's even got the Pac-Man.
Who at this table dare call me clocksucker?
I think he might. No, he's back. I thought he might have drifted off there. Thought, buffet.
I mean, it's 6:45.
Oh yeah. Totally threw me because of the extended bubble. I didn't start until quite late. So by my mind, it's about 3 in the afternoon. Come on, Pavliuk. I really want to see. I really want to see now.
I think he's folding.
9, 8, 7, 6. Everyone count down.
5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Happy
Happy
New
New Year! Oh man, I didn't even get to see his.
My resolution is to fold.
Oh man, look, and he's totally got his glasses wrong. Tito must be thinking, oh, thank God it's not just me. And now all the genii on Twitch telling us definitely what they had. Oh, actually, no, they're completely distracted because, of course, Kate turned up. And that's going to give us at least another 20 minutes of people shouting Happy New Year and screaming. And everyone really enjoyed the countdown, actually. That was good. Everyone's really Happy New Year, everyone. I hope that this one is as good for you as it was for me. Well, that was exciting. Something else exciting is that we've lost another player. That's not exciting. I'm dreadfully sorry. Allberto Massi is out in 33rd place. Sorry about that. I called his death while that hand was still live. Feel slightly guilty about that. The good news for the remaining players is that means we are going to be only one off the next pay jump. Remind you that 32nd and 33rd, I've just realized on my payout table it says 33rd, which is always nice to see. 9,780. But if we lose one more player, we will bounce up into the next payout bracket, which is 12,480. So that's quite a decent jump. Who'd want to be 33rd? Not me. Let old acquaintance be forgot. It's actually should old acquaintance be forgot. Johnny one time.
Do you know all of the lyrics to that song?
Yeah.
You do?
And they're just rubbish.
Yeah, it's bad.
It just makes no sense.
I mean, there's a reason it's public domain.
Exactly.
Somebody had the chance to have the rights to that song, and they were like, "Yeah."
I'm just gonna let it free.
Yeah.
Just walked up to a bit of grass. I mean, there you are. You'll be all right. You'll make a life for yourself here. Yeah, as a man who loves working on New Year's Eve because you get paid like triple. Yes, I have had to learn all the words. 3 spades. Man, that music, if that's someone's headphones, they really need to turn that down because they're going to do some damage themselves. Iceblade says you'll always be 33rd in my heart.
Oh, I love 33rd.
I'm the 3rd favorite commentator in the team. Being asked how many players registered, it was 366 total entries in the end. Just 32 remaining. And though we were joking about it, of course, tomorrow we would come back ordinarily and play a pretty long day to get down to 16. Going to be a bit easier than normal because of the smaller field. And then we play down to 6. And then Monday, cards up, coverage. The first ever PokerStars Championship Panama main event will have a champion crowned. And then our attention moves to Mikhail. We've got some new players arriving.
Wow, yeah, Beardy McWeirdy.
Caufman Talley from the US of the A.
Tally ho.
Allberto Meran Matias, his table mate.
Welcome to the TV table.
Only when she says.
And slightly new dynamic in the chip counts as well because Allberto comes in with 292,000, makes him 3rd behind Igor and James. Caufman Talley, middle of the pack, 231,000. Average stack now 343.
Yeah. See, these cards are different from all the other cards.
So because we're down to 4 players, if we get down, would it be awesome if we got down to 3 tables on day 3?
No, I need to do it.
We're gonna have to change the rules of the game tomorrow.
By the beach.
Or you can call a clock where someone isn't allowed to act for 60 seconds. Like the guy's got his
I'm
cards.
pausing you.
The guy's got his cards and he's ready for fun. They go, clock. Okay, so you've got 60 seconds until you act. 10, 9, 8. Okay, go ahead.
In
And
60 seconds, your hand will be live.
Oh, the fun we have. Yaroshevskyy here. A raise from Igor. Don't call me Gary Yaroshevskyy. Been pretty quiet. 50 minutes still on the clock, so 40 minutes into this level. Hasn't been a major force to be reckoned with so far. But he got all the chips, so he could go home early.
We're all going home early.
I did a competition in the last level.
Yeah.
And I had the Twitch app on that helps you when people get it right.
Yes.
And Davina Dar got it right. And of course, she is a member of staff, so she couldn't qualify. So I waited until I had the full screen of people, and then I did the random roll. She won it again. Like, right, look, stop. This can't go on. A continuation here from Igor, 12,000 into 45. Moonchild's off. Good night. Good night. Come back and see us again soon. Thanks for watching.
Good night, Moon Child.
Same old moon. Same old jungle. I just reminded myself, I was quoting Predator there. And when myself and James Hartigan did the, oh, hang on a second. What? A 12,000 bet continued from Yaroshevskyy. Got a raise from James Salmon to 28,000.
There we go, yeah.
And now a 3-bet. The re-raise to 100,000. Igor really going to make things tricky for James if he wants to continue, and expensive to boot.
Yaroshevskyy was the original raiser from the hijack here, huh? Then continued on the flop for a really small percentage of this pot. Salmon calls. Deuce on the turn. You know, just because we haven't seen that many showdowns, I don't have a huge amount of information on what sorts of hands Yaroshevskyy would be value re-raising the flop with. Like, I don't know if he's thin enough to do it with, like, ace-king.
Yeah.
But the small bet and then re-raising feels like sets a lot of the time to me. And I'd say a smaller set because you know, you don't have blockers to your opponent having a good top pair. So I think like a set of 3s and a set of 4s are a likely holding. On the value side, obviously bluffs are always a possibility. Yaroshevskyy firing now 127,000 into 245,000. Little over half pot. I think if you're a Salmon, you're in a really tough spot with a king here.
Yeah.
Whew. This pot is getting big. That is a call. And Salmon's got not even remotely a pot-sized bet left behind. Half pot. 10 on the river, so no, the flop flush draw did not come in. To say no flop draws came in is not entirely accurate, but no flop draws you would really expect anyone to have. I don't think you can really expect Salmon to have ace-5 too often, especially when he calls the huge 3-bet. Maybe ace-5 of hearts is a hand that's a possibility.
Maybe so.
It's pretty much the only combination of a hand getting there that I can think of in this situation.
He is sharp.
Yaroshevskyy puts them all in.
Yeah.
Ow! Yeah, Salmon doesn't have the ace-5 of hearts.
Man, this table is taking a pounding between Tito and now Salmon.
It's pretty understandable. I mean, you just are in a really, really terrible spot with top pair here. You've invested so many of your chips now. You're going to be like, oh, he's got ace-queen of hearts, he's got ace-jack of hearts. I just think once a guy's invested this many of his chips, it's hard to be bluffing. He makes the call.
We're going to get to see the good stroke bad news.
Wow, Yaroshevskyy marks, he was bluffing.
Wow. And he has to show the 7-8.
Had nothing, absolute air. And Salmon makes the right call. You could say he really swam upstream on that hand.
Wow.
That,
I mean, pressure was on there. Great call.
You know, he came to the same sort of determination that we did, that there weren't a ton of value hands on the flop that he could be 3-betting with. He's not going to have king 4 or king 3. He probably doesn't have a set of kings. So what does that leave him with? 4s and 3s?
Yeah.
The flop draws missed, but he didn't even have a draw on the flop. Nice call. James Salmon.
Yeah, a lot of love for that call at the end there. A lot of wows streaming through on Twitch, and we can see it bumps him up to the top of the table, just shy of 1,979,000. Igor Yaroshevskyy now, for the first time in a really long while, down to under 500,000. I mean, it just shows how big a chip stack he had, that he can take that big dent and still be around the 500,000 mark. Impressive stuff from James Salmon. Igor put him to the test, but he worked it out, just like Joe did. By the way, I forgot to tell you at the beginning of the last level, we saw you go up to that dealer and like her just blow you off completely. It was on screen.
Was it?
Yeah. We had a wide shot. We just saw you go up to some dealer. Just go, hey, I'm Joe, I'm International Person of the Year.
I feel like that didn't happen because the only dealer I interacted with while I was not on commentary, we kissed. So if I had been on camera, it would have looked not like the scene you just described.
Okay. We were a really long way away. There was a lot of people went, was that Joe just getting blown off on the screen? I was like, yeah, probably.
I gave her a bag of Doritos, and she was like, where's my kiss?
But those aren't your Doritos to give away, Joe. Those are put on for you to eat. I mean, I saw you eating a bag of Doritos, so you're saying you took somebody else's bag of Doritos?
I did.
Right, well, I think we're going to have to shut down the broadcast there because we've got an internal problem that needs to be sorted out.
I like to take care of the little guy, especially if the little guy's a pretty girl.
Yeah, I've noticed you like that. I noticed that none of the male dealers who are kind of ugly, I don't see you kissing them and handing them bags of chips.
First of all, I don't really see ugly. Like, I literally don't see those people. They're invisible to me.
Oh, none of anything that we've said recently is true, just to cover ourselves. I mean, take it back 20 minutes just to cover us. We're just mucking around. That one is a raise from Igor, under the gun +2, 14,000, called by his best mate, James Salmon. Great buddies, love tangling with each other.
How do you call there? How do you call that? Donk.
What are you doing, James? And Paul was absolutely right. Yeah, I'm afraid I announced that it was a Predator quote before you managed to type it in. It's only because I remember that on the Twitch cast that I did with James from the home game, he asked me a question about what's the worst film that you still like, and I just couldn't come up with one. And then days later, I've no idea why, I was sitting watching something completely different, and my brain just went Demolition Man, and I was like, that's the rubbish film that I still like. So I just out of nowhere just sent to James Demolition Man. He was like, eh?
Eh?
I was like, oh, it's my answer to the question. Do you remember the crap film that I like? I was like, oh, okay, yeah, bye.
Sometimes I like doing that to James, knowing that he doesn't ever try to put the pieces together.
Yeah, go.
Like,
white
no,
coffee?
he doesn't say, it's not the way he says it. He goes, eh?
Right, okay.
Because I've heard him do it in life.
Okay.
Demolition Man came out right when I was starting to be able to see R-rated movies, so of course I loved it.
Right.
It was like one of the first R-rated movies I ever saw.
I mean, I think it still has a lot of charm. It's just really, it's pretty awful. But I still like it. Mikey Lee is saying that Greg is tilting. I have no. Who is Greg? Who on earth is Greg? Do we have anyone called
old Greg?
Well, old Greg. What?
Old Greg, yeah.
Outside on the chair, holding a styrofoam cup. Old Greg just totally tilting.
I just can't wait until they replace toilet paper with the 3 seashells.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, that could be dreadful, because if I was presented with 3 seashells, there's only one thing I'm doing with them, and it involves squatting. Someone's going, you won't believe what someone's done to the seashells. What happened to his stacks, says Kieran. He lost a lot of chips to our new chip leader, James Salmon, because I'm guessing you're talking about Igor. A lot of speculation about who Greg is. He drinks Baileys from a shoe.
Even Greg the sound man isn't here for this trip. Tally ho, Caufman Talley. His first hand here at the feature table. Taking on Gagnon style. Defending his big blind. Samuel Gagnon wearing a delicious schnozberry flavored jacket. Hit him with the 9.
Kapow. 51,000 Tally checks.
I think a guy who grew up with the name Caufman was probably insufferable in college.
Because
I just think that when people have like really, like,
Caufman.
yeah, like just special little snowflake names.
Yeah.
Like their parents loved them too much. James and Joe's and Matt's, your parents are like, you're just like everybody else.
Meanwhile,
you're not special.
Yeah, exactly.
Where your name's Caufman, it's like, well, excuse me, my parents love me.
Flem, nice to meet you. Flem Johnson.
Named after my grandfather, Flemington.
The Flemster.
It's actually Flemington Johnson IV, but I don't want to sound.
It's like our superfan Jules with a Z. Oh, it's, you know, it's a nickname. No one calls. What's your real name? Julian. But no one calls me that. Really? How hard did you have to work to trick anyone into calling you Jules?
Guys, it's a Z on the end. I told you.
It's like I had a friend of mine called Jeremy. His nickname was Spam, so when he became a man and met new people, he'd say, everyone calls me Jez. And we go, we don't, we call him Spam.
His name's Spam. By the way, Gagnon style, all in.
Actions on Tally, who's probably much younger than he looks with that huge ginger beard.
Oh, boy. Oh, jeez.
I guess I'm all in. Just the ace king. Let's it go. This is good news. Our friend Samuel Gagnon has been Gagnon. Now you've got me actually calling him that rather than him. Gagnon up to 190,000. 31 big blinds. Finally parity with two of his opponents. Remind you, 343,000 is the average stack. It's time to actually jump away briefly from our featured table. Got a bit of action going on. We've got Denis. Timofeev is all in. Has been called by Jonathan Abdelatif.
Uh-oh.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, man, I thought there was going to be an Omaha hand there. That could have been a mess. It is Abdelatif with the ace queen of spades. There's the king 8 of clubs for Timofeev. I'm sorry, I can't. Okay, there's plenty of clubs. Ooh.
On the river.
Double
King
up.
8 of clubs is going to make a flush, yeah.
Good eyes, Joe. Thank God you're here. That is a lovely little spot. Look, it was all up. He was all ready to do that thing. Well, I guess I'm out of here, guys. Sit yourself back down.
Sit back down.
So, Timofeev. Funny, you know, it's so weird. We lose track of these guys. You know, 45 minutes ago, he was taken away from our feature table as one of our big stacks, and all of a sudden, we're watching him. You know, all in and at risk.
I don't believe you. He named up? I don't believe you. Well, if you're lying, I'm gonna see it.
Lo siento. That's today's phrase. I know it's a bit late in the day to introduce today's phrase. Today's phrase is Lo siento. I don't understand. Smitty, I've got a lot of time for Smitty on Twitter, by the way, PokerStars TV hashtag. Does that make James a large fish and chips? What is it you're referring to?
I don't know.
If someone is watching. Jamie Staples is in the house saying that he has the Panamanian fever. I hope that's code for a hangover, or I want to go and dance. Hope he's not actually ill. And this is one of our newer players at the table, Allberto, Meran, Matias. We've not really seen him get involved here.
We got another Meran at the table?
We have. And he's going to take on Igor. Don't call me Gary. Yaroshevskyy. He is going to raise it to 20,000. And it looks like actually Jason Kuhn is all in. It's not actually been called yet by Vincent. That's just his
pan
opponent.
Up and to the left for like 1 second. No, maybe. Yeah, it was a little higher. I like a face.
So there is
right,
the
poker.
call. Jason Kuhn,
Jacks
Ace Queen
Ace
versus
Queen,
Jacks.
and Ace Queen is going to win that one. Double up. Double up 07.
Double up 07. That was James Hardigan in the background, you can see in his 007 t-shirt. He wears it to bed. Wears it in the swimming pool because he doesn't want his skin to get exposed to the sunlight in case it crisps up. Sometimes I'm by the pool and I'm thinking, oh man, that barbecue smells so good.
That's not Hardigan. That guy's got way too much muscle definition.
Turns out that delicious smell is just James, his shins just sizzling in the direct sunshine.
James is constructed almost entirely of glass noodles.
But he is delicious.
Now, Matt, Tercy on Twitch says there are several theories about the origin of the name Panama.
Right.
Some believe the country is named after a commonly found species of tree. Others believe that the first settlers arrived in Panama in August when butterflies abound, and that the name means many butterflies in indigenous tongue.
Right.
I actually...
Me and you know.
We know what the real story is.
Those guys...
These guys that founded Canada, they went all the way through the United States, down through Central America, ended up here in Panama, but it wasn't called Panama
It wasn't
yet.
back then, no. It was called Many Butterflies.
Right, it was just the Many Butterfly place. But these guys are like, so, hey, we've gotten all the way down here from Canada, eh? So, what do you think we should call it, eh? And the other guy was like, Joe, hey, I don't know. But you know what? I think it should have a P, eh? And I think it should have an N, eh? And I think it should have an M, eh? And that's how they named it Panama. You hoser. You're welcome. You're welcome. Na Batman writes on Twitch, stop it, Stapes. Now, do you know how Na Batman came up with his name? Was that he was sitting in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and he was like, man, what should my Twitch name be, eh? And he was like, well, I think it should have an N, eh? And then I think it should have an N, eh? And then it should have an N, eh? And I also love Batman. So let's make it Na Batman. Too far. So if I could just read some of these Twitch comments coming through. Is he drunk? That was bad even for you, Joe. This is the cringiest commentary. Such a terrible joke. Ha ha, Joe, you're robbing a living. Grow up, Stapes. So, like, take off. Shh, he tried hard, guys.
That's a nice one from Tyler. Well done.
Cool story, bro. Oh dear, just bad. This caster sounds a little drunk. Great broadcast, guys.
Now, this guy, Allberto Meran Matias, he originally comes from Grenada. And I was just wondering, do you know how they came up with that name?
I do know the same guys. They were not done.
Right.
After Canada, Panama, you just got to
their
be a
reputation
trilogy.
is
Right.
growing and growing
Yeah.
as the go-to guys.
And they were like, we got to come up with another name for a country. And the one guy was like, "Grr, you grr." He said, "Grr, A."
Angry.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, not another country. Yeah.
A, N-A, D-A. And they're just like, you know what? I think we've struck gold again. Bag it and tag it.
27 minutes on the level, everyone. Don't worry.
I gave that answer to my geography professor, and he gave me a lit bowling ball candle. Remember those old cartoon bombs? That was
Yeah.
funny. Funny.
Meran Matias. Matias. Thanks, Seiko. Now I've got your name wrong as well. I do like it when someone tells me how to pronounce one of our players' names and then I actually ruin their name, the name of the guy that helped me out. We're going to have to pick this one up because of the hilarity that has been ensuing here. Gagnon made it 14,000, got the call from Meran Matias. Also, James Salmon originally came along after the flop. Gagnon bet, and then it was just heads up on the turn. Again, Samuel continued to continue. 50,000, again got the call. And now here on the end, Samuel Gagnon has checked Meran Matias. Opportunity knocks.
We're going to have a showdown. King, queen. Gets there against ace, queen.
Yeah, it's one of those where you're probably happier to I'll go with the queen, don't bring the king down. Now you're kind of scared. Everyone was scared, but the good news is that Allberto Meran Matias is up to 400,000 over average. Top three of our players, 400,000 for Allberto. Igor Yaroshevskyy, after that huge dent into his stack, 524. And then James Salmon, you can see 157 big blinds here at the 3K, 6K, 1 level. 24 minutes left on the clock. 32 players. Slowed down somewhat, as we kind of hoped, vaguely, stroke predicted, stroke prayed. So it looks like you're 18 and my 25. Probably a bit OTT. The thing is, you almost start getting close now to like the day bubble, where people want to say, well, I got to day 4.
Yeah, it's you have those benchmarks at first.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I won my 5th bracelet.
Being asked, how did Salmon get Yaroshevsky's chips? Don't forget, if you want to follow any of these key hands, because the field is now smaller, if you head over to the PokerStars blog, you'll find that more and more of these very specific hands are being caught and being blogged. So follow the guys on Twitter at PokerStars blog. Head over to PokerStarsblog.com. As well as all the live reporting, there's lots and lots of little features and interviews, bits and bobs. Obviously, huge amount of interest here today because Tito Ortiz is here. It's always great to have a bit of celebrity, especially a bit of celebrity who's 1, doing well, 2, kind of knows what he's doing, 3 is just a nice bloke, so it kind of brings a lot of attention to us. We'll never say no to a guy who ticks all the boxes.
Boxy, boxy, tick, tick.
Right-hearted is keen to know about, you know, when people are going lemon, strawberry, lime. Banana. I mean, Banana, how'd you ever come
I
up with
feel like
that?
there's a lot of people now that want to know how other things got their names. And
Yeah.
I don't think I can do it
No.
to the audience
No.
anymore. They've been very patient with me.
They've given us a huge amount of leeway.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing with the
I
audience.
don't want to be disrespectful. Yaroshevskyy 3-betting the open
Side of the blue.
from Meran Matias.
Thank you.
And James Salmon, he's like, I got your number, Yaroshevskyy. Let's do this. Let's dance. Let's do the man dance. Come on out on the floor. I'll Macarena you to death.
Man, I got real issue with William on Twitter because one is insulting my friend Joe. Two, I don't think it's true. And also his lack of apostrophes.
Yeah.
It's really winding me up.
Now, when somebody writes your with the apostrophe, it's incorrect. It's easy to verbally express that if you're reading something out loud because you can be like, I really like your haircut. But when someone does it that wrong way, it's hard to express that verbally. And I wish there were a way to, without stopping this, you know, explain it.
Yeah.
Maya jerk?
It's a good attempt.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Jimmy Salmon. That name is way more fitting with that hat on.
It is. Well, I told you, he plays in my mind, he plays the jazz flute.
Right.
He's got 3 wives. I mean, the guy, he's got his life sorted.
He has 3 wives, and they're all cool with it, though. Like, they're all fine with it.
And they're really into each other.
Yeah,
it just
exactly.
works. It just works for Jimmy Salmon.
Jimmy Salmon. Smooth as salmon, this guy.
159,000, says Jimmy.
Smoky.
Smoky salmon. Oh, peppered salmon. Yaroshevsky's going, what's happened to me? I was
I could have sworn I had more chips than this when I came to this table.
I'm absolutely sure I was like the scary guy. And now it looks like I'm not the scary guy. It's like everyone is scarier than me.
I'm sorry, Hero Value. The 4-bet alert did not make it through customs.
Where are they? Genuinely, where is all the noise?
Well, I think that because most of the stuff got shipped from a different place than England.
Right. Okay.
Including the humans working on the production. But the sound boxes didn't make it.
The thing is, it's much better for me because it means every time I have to kind of sit down at the desk, I don't have to first of all go through a process of moving all your dental floss or your sound.
First one of the week, though.
I didn't know that was there. I was just saying it. I was thinking that was an old joke. I actually haven't bumped into one of your dental flosses for like a long while.
Today.
A long while. But there's normally like 16 discarded water bottles where Hartigan is just overhydrated because his shins take so much. It's like the roots of a tree. It's just osmosis.
He's like an almond. It takes 1 gallon of water for every cell of James Hartigan's body.
One dog says, "Come on, Greg."
I think he's confusing Gary for Greg.
I love it. Not Igor. Don't call me Gary. Gary Yaroshevskyy. 2 minutes on this decision. Get ready to usher in the new year if this goes on for another 60 seconds or so. Sammy Bizzle doing his best to keep the stereotype going that English people don't use toothbrushes or dental floss. I can assure you we do.
That's Matt's real offense, not that it's been in my mouth for 8 or 9 minutes. It's that he's just offended at the sight of dental care equipment.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just surprised that it's so out in the open. Like for me, flossing and brushing my teeth is very much a private thing. I would never like bring out my toothbrush or like, just start cutting my nails in public.
Just wait till I get out the Gold Bond medicated powder. See where I put that.
Yaroshevskyy is like the inverse of Elke. And his catchphrase is, "This isn't sick."
This is so not sick.
And he's got
This
a little,
is, in fact, healthy.
he's got a little cat with him called Cat.
Cat 1.
Well, bully boy, Jimmy James Salmon.
Jimmy Salmon.
Over $1 million for the first time here in the main event. That's going to feel good. You see what it does. 170 big blinds. Average stack 343,000. So just the 3 players. Igor and Allberto also well up above that level. Tito been pretty quiet for a while, but still in great shape. Andres Carrillo, Caufman, Talley. Also Roman Pavliuk, who feels like he's just always been here. He was here before the casino was built. Just sitting in a chair waiting for it to be built around him. And Samuel Gagnon, I don't know, just hanging on forever. I would love to see him go way, way deeper because his patience needs rewarding, I
It's
feel.
fun, yeah.
It would just be lovely if, like, you know, when you go out later on, you know, much later in the week to announce the winner, and you got the trophy and the confetti goes off. If, like, Samuel's just still sitting there, like, you know, just still sitting there waiting
Still
for
folding.
something else. Yeah.
It's kind of like trying to see how far you can drive on 1 tank of gas. Like, don't refill the tank. Like, just keep chugging along.
Yeah.
I always get really worried when we can see a guy's phone.
Yeah.
Because I know what I would be negotiating prices.
You'd be making friends.
Right. A lot of right swiping.
Yeah, mine would be dull. You'd just see me working on a new deck for Clash Royale, you know, bringing in the lumberjack, getting the bandit out there. A lot of nerdy stuff going on there. Nothing very sexually exciting, to use my catchphrase.
The cash game only.
Yeah?
Only cash game.
So
But then
amazing.
there's some, not
Wildcard saying, do these commentators get paid or is it some sort of autism outreach? We
Insulting to
are.
autistic
It's
people.
insulting to everyone. In fact, that was deleted. Just as I went to read it, it was been deleted.
I want a gratification now. I want the money now. I want the money now.
Yeah.
13 minutes left on the level. The clock will get paused in a short while, and then we'll draw for how many more hands we will play.
Yes, so I guess hard against guess of 30 is looking pretty good right now. We've only lost 5 players since the start of this level.
And you know, it's the sort of thing where if we'd end up with 20, we'd never mention it again. But as soon as we get out of this room, he's going to come up to us, cracking his knuckles, with his trousers around his
You guys
knees,
see
going,
how many players we ended with?
"Oh, I don't want to mention it, but I did say 30." A raise from Igor. Don't call me Gary. Gary Yaroshevskyy. 14,000 gets the call from Andres in the small blind. Tito, not so.
I do agree with Ed Kilworth. I thought that comment was too far. I was not going to read it.
Oh, really?
But sometimes me and Matt's sensibilities are slightly different. My guess is he wouldn't have said the thing I said right before that.
Yeah,
so
true.
Who knows?
The thing is, I'm pretty sure that was tongue-in-cheek. And I don't have a problem with it. Plus, I just don't care. Apologies if anyone's insulted. Let's be honest, this is the least of our worries. Ace of Hearts. After a C-bet from Igor, 15,000 into 42. Gascap saying, you guys should have presented the new Top Gear. You've got a real dynamic and know nothing about cars, so it's one better than the current bunch. I've never liked Top Gear, so I can't really comment on whether it's got better or worse recently.
I don't know anything about cars. I loved Top Gear until I found out what absolute douche nozzles those guys were.
I know. That podcast where the super fan was picking Top Gear, and James's questions were just brilliantly, totally unbiased. That James had no axe to grind whatsoever as delivered the scathing commentary. Being asked how much time left, it's hard to say, James Sutton, because we're actually going to pause the clock as we see James Salmon select how many hands we have. And the answer, it looks like a small one. Small ones are more juicy.
Jimmy Salmon.
Oh, it was 5, actually. Sorry, I thought it was a 3 or a deuce. So, James Sutton, it's going to take exactly however long 5 more hands takes us.
Oh, God. Nice one, James.
I want to go 3-bet them. I thought these were, or 4-bet rather.
Being asked, how can I not like Top Gear so easily? I just watch one episode and then immediately don't like it. I might like it now. It's got Matt LeBlanc, and ordinarily I quite like him. But certainly the old school Top Gear with those dreadful...
I just like the stuff they did. I thought it was really cool. The stunts and the tests and the...
Do you know what? Again, I like the concept. I just couldn't watch those people. I just couldn't listen to them.
Well, I didn't realize they were such turds at first. Because it's weird, because I'm all for edgy comedy, right? But then when you find out that the guy's not really even doing comedy, he's just awful. You're like, oh, that's not really comedy. He's just a racist.
That'll be the one. Martin Lennon, I think, has a legit question for us, saying,
'Kay.
why do they do the draw the hands thing? It's just because we don't want... It's a bit like going hand for hand, you know, when it gets to the bubble. We don't want people, like, dragging their heels here. They don't want people just tanking out the rest of the day.
Right, so that one table plays 2 hands and one table plays 8 hands.
Yeah. So it's pretty straight, so that now everyone knows the clock is now completely invalid. We're just going to play 5 more hands. You guys want to tank? Bingo. You'll be sitting here when everyone's like heading off.
Tito Ortiz with a rare pre-flop free bet. Hammering on Roman Pavliuk. Wow, a 4-bet alert.
And I've got a feeling...
Tito is all in.
Oh, wowee. I was just about to say...
And so is Pavliuk.
Uh-oh.
Tito has got Pavliuk covered just... Is that aces versus ace king, something like that?
It looks like aces. Yeah.
King,
Do you
queen.
know what? And I was just going to say, I just never see Pavliuk being light here, especially making the move against Tito. Snap call from Tito with the king, queen.
All I can think about is how this is going to affect whether or not he comes on the podcast.
Do you know what? That was the first thing that came to my mind. I don't really want to see Pavliuk get sucked out, but also if Tito goes home, then that's a real disappointment.
Make flush.
And I was just thinking this is going to be a really big score for Tito to make it through to a day 4. Give him the straight. Sorry, Pavliuk. I mean nothing against you.
So in order for Tito to have a sweat, he's going to need a 10, a king, or a queen.
Oh, man. He's going to be left with 65,000 behind him.
A king
unless
is a sweaty card. 5 outs now.
You got out.
11%. Stranger things have happened.
I'm so torn as to what I'm rooting for here.
I hear you, brother.
No king, no queen. Tito not out.
But certainly
He's got 10.5 big blinds.
he has got a bloodied nose. And this is a great advert for Roman Pavliuk's style. Just tight, aggressive. Just don't get bored. Don't get crazy. Wait for your moment. And I mean, the snap call with the king, queen there. Tito didn't even want to think about it. And I'm surprised because, you know, Roman has been pretty solid.
Bluff? You see it in the internet.
Blufftown saying he kind of deserves to lose. The old man looks like the nittiest guy ever. I'm not entirely sure I like the wording, but I understand your point.
The live coverage, we don't see the cards.
So at what point do you get to see the cards?
Monday.
They do a different coverage later, like in the episode or something, then we're gonna see each other.
Ah, that's interesting. I like that.
If you watch the replay of today,
Yes, yesterday I did see the whole cards. I figured
If you watch the replay from today, you'll have to hear Joe explain about how Canada, Panama, and Grenada were named. So I would just say put on some music, just enjoy the visuals, but maybe don't tune in so much. And now, whereas before Tito was getting some coaching from Felipe Ramos, he might want to have a word with Samuel Gagnon, because if there's anyone that can tell you how to survive with less than 10 bigs for about 5 hours, he is an expert.
It is Gagnon style.
Being asked if there's a list of the players still in, yes. Head over to the PokerStars blog. You will find all the updates from the team that are covering the entire field rather than just our feature table where we are pointed at.
My guess is we're going to see Tito Ortiz all in very soon. He probably does not want to come back tomorrow with 10.5 big blinds, but we'll see.
And especially considering it won't be 10.5 big blinds, because by the time we come back in a new level, he's going to be real short. I mean, he might. Who knows? He might be like, do you know what? I'm loving this. The dream's still alive. Gather himself. Come back in. Still wants to say, I made day 4. Matt Broughton, your comedy's so bad. Tito shoved, he didn't call.
All day is my. You don't play around.
I thought he called. I thought that it was Roman that pushed back.
Roman 4-bet, Tito 5-bet shoves, and Roman called.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought they were so close.
Doesn't
All right.
really matter.
I made a mistake, bitter old man. Just chill out a bit, yeah.
Your sentiment was the same in that Tito really didn't think much of 5-bet shoving, and I think there's a very little chance of him getting a fold
Agreed.
once Pavliuk puts in 4th bet.
You're speaking up for the smile, so.
3 hands left. Bitter old man says, Matt Brown, you should pay more attention. Bitter old man, you should have a timeout.
Did you time him out?
Timeout. That's entirely unreasonable, and I apologize, but I've already pressed the button and I don't care. You're watching PokerStars TV.
I guess he was paying attention to the Twitch chat at least.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Harsh but unfair.
I am consistent, and that's all I can promise you. Being asked what time tomorrow. Same time as today, so it's 12 noon EST. That works out to be 6 p.m. Central European time. You can work backwards from that. That'll be 5 p.m. in the UK. Whatever you did today, do that again. I'm being called a savage. Being called worse, but the mods got there before I could. Whereas somebody else says I'm a hero. Do you know what? One man's cheese is another man's horrible milk that's gone off. By the way, our mods, when people say we're rubbish, you don't have to delete it.
Oh, yeah, no. That's...
Luckily, those aren't the guys that we care about. They don't pay our invoices, so that's fine. Everyone's allowed an opinion. A little while back, we were saying that we don't like Top Gear. A lot of our viewers do. That's fine. They don't need to convince me otherwise, and I don't need to convince them otherwise.
Okay.
The good news is we all like poker, and that's really what we're here for, as we see 4 players check their way through a hand.
Okay, well, Ward's giving somebody a lot of help here. So Tito continues to slip into the danger zone.
Danger zone! Hang on, that was me. I mean, you're here in the room. And I was very excited on our first day to hear that you were fed by James an extreme danger zone. I did wonder if you were going to be okay with that, because you had
I really don't like to do variations on a theme. So this is the penultimate hand. 2 shots for Tito Ortiz to go broke or go home. We know he has a flight scheduled for the morning.
Pretty much, and I go there twice a month.
15,000 raise under the gun from Roman Pavliuk. Do not take him lightly.
Nope, not the ones I'm on it.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Ain't gonna work.
One more hand.
One more chance to get your last 49,000 in. Don't blow it, Tito. Don't just do it because you want out. Who's the guy with the accent? Asks I want techies. To be honest, it really depends where you're from.
Is there a way we can delete VJ Windsor's tweet? Just strike it from the record.
She has reminded us that James did, in fairness, say we would end with 30 players. I went with 25. Joe was a bit less than that. It's looking good for James right now, who no doubt has already ordered himself a large steak and a bottle of champagne. He's going to put his flip-flops on and just...
I'm perfectly happy for James to continue to be the right one while I continue to be the likable one. Like, those roles are fine with me.
Jack.
One more hand.
I didn't have Jack.
Wow, Samuel Gagnon
10,
does
10.
indeed
River 10.
fold his way to day
10.
4.
And Tito? What's it going to be, Tito? All in or retrito?
Nice.
A double up would be sweeto.
You got Jack? Queen?
Queen.
Queen.
Comes aces.
I think it's a
Well,
nice
he is going for a standardish raise.
So, although he's actually not put quite enough in, lost track of the blind. So 12,000.
Okay, we've got a re-raise. On to the other Ukrainian, Roman Pavliuk. He is out, back to Tito, who can make a spectacular hero fold and make it to day 4. Of course, he can call. It's only 13,000. What a decision.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, also, why wouldn't he shove?
Oh, wow. I'm going home tomorrow anyway, so it doesn't matter. The words, the heart of a lion.
But what if he wins this and he ends up with 20 bigs? So he can't go home if he's still got chips in. That doesn't sound like...
That's not the billionaire mindset I see retweeted so often on Twitter.
More, right? 13 more.
Oh, he's just calling.
Yeah. It was your... You said he could always just call it, and that's what he's done.
I was joking.
No, I know you were joking, but... I mean, what are his options now? Once we go to this flop, he's got 23 back. There's 67 in the middle. I'm pretty sure I know what Yaroshevskyy is going to do.
Put one chip out there.
Put like one yellow and just go a billion. He's going to check
Tito's
it.
trying to get a read. Oh, wow. It's a bit of a tell. I'm effing beat already.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Don't do this. Don't do this, Tito. Not like this. It's like pulling
Not
the plug
this
on
way.
switch. Not this way.
I have a question. So how's that work?
How's what work?
If I'm the short stack, do I get booted out or do I play again tomorrow in the morning?
If he folds.
Chip in a chair, mate. Have you not been listening to Joe Stapleton at all?
The only reason I'm doing this.
Oh, don't.
I got a movie on Sunday to go to.
Oh. These people love poker. You're ruining.
He's got tickets for Logan on Sunday. He doesn't want to miss it.
You like it.
Like queen eye, right? Oh, you got the gut shot.
Oh man, I almost want him to do better, just to punish him and make him come and play more poker.
I mean, he's not in terrible shape.
No, I mean that is the sweet irony. He's got 10 outs, which a lot of people would love to be all in for 113,000.
and still have 36% equity. Yeah.
Against you, like a 10.
Well, enjoy this one, guys. This is not something we see too often.
I mean,
the guy doing the well, my taxi's here, so I've got to go.
Three's got Yaroshevskyy drink dead.
Yeah, no, good. Good plan for you, for sure. The last 2 days I've been watching you going, when am I going to play with that guy?
Dead to a chop. There it is. He's dead to a chop now. Oh, God.
We ain't done yet, ladies and gentlemen.
Well played. Masterful.
GG.
Just.
I mean, I wonder if he can get a refund on those movie tickets.
What an advertisement for poker.
Where are we? Sortis. What are we doing?
There's really not much to root against here. I mean, this would be the ultimate slap in the face if they chop it up.
Oh.
So close.
Does he? I mean, he looks happy, but I thought he wanted to go.
Well, he doesn't have to leave till Sunday.
Yeah, you know how we do it. You know,
so.
we almost get out. We got to come back and win the last hand again. That's every last hand I've won. The last 3 days.
That's true. He pointed that out, and he has won the last hand of every level. I guess this was just the weirdest one.
Okay, well done, gents. Same as usual, names to name this chief count.
Well, Matt, I don't really know what to say.
I don't know what to say. Whammy, says Ice Blades. Right, well, there you are, boys and girls. It's not what we were expecting, but Tito Ortiz is still with us.
But is he coming back tomorrow?
I think he will definitely come back tomorrow, probably. He has got 113,000. Samuel Gagnon, good job, sir. Still with us, still ticking over at 30 players. Incidentally, everyone now in the $12,480 mark, if we didn't mention that when they ticked into that. The big story, though, is, of course, the rise and fall of Igor Yaroshevskyy. He was over $1 million, took that huge dent when he tangled with James Salmon, who now sits on over $1 million.
Jimmy Salmon.
Jimmy Pepper Salmon.